G'day, Katana Oni. Evening for me, friend. Good morning to you. Rumble. Had a great weekend, mate. Prepped a Blood Bowl team for painting on stream. Finished off my little vampire dude. This dude. Finished him off today. So that's pretty cool. Like him. And yeah, hung out with my doggo mate. Took him to the dog park. Had a great time. Hope you also had a good weekend, mate. Although it's probably still going for you. G'day Jim. G'day Fen. Great film, Willow. Classic film. One of the best. Mad Monaghan. It does hold up reasonably well. The special effects are a bit naff these days, but good stories hold up, mate. Yeah. Celery, g'day friend. Should probably zoom in a smidge on the dragon that we're working on. Doot. I think it's actually a TV series that they're making. Gosh, I'll be disappointed if Val Kilmer doesn't reprise his role. And by reprise his role, I am of course referring to his role as Batman in Batman, whichever Batman he was in. He wasn't as bad as Clooney in Batman and Robin, if we're being honest. So the annoying thing about this guy is I feel like all he needs to feel done. Very good, Celery. Thank you, mate. Hope you have a good day in your books. You can assume that means studying. The annoying thing about this guy is I just need to be able to do the eyes and the teeth, and I reckon he'll start to look pretty close to finished. But the eyes and the teeth, I'm not dreading them. G'day, Loopy. Would we use the term dulcet tones? Would we instead say moronic tones, maybe? Yes, I need to paint these things, but they are the things I'm not looking forward to. Just because it's all about precision with these sorts of horn shapes. If you want to have nice little striations and stuff, these ones are very, very curvy. So it's just going to take time. I'll figure out what I'm doing with the nose as well. Looking at it now, the red's not overpowering. So beast from the east. So I finished off this this vampire today, friends. I started it on stream well, it's probably about 2 weeks ago now, actually, now we think about it, but yeah, finished him. G'day Stu Flynn. I do indeed have a Twitch as of about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks maybe now. G'day Gilthorne, welcome. So yes, I actually started this guy on Twitch and did pretty much everything in about 4 hours, maybe 4 and a bit hours. Thanks, mate. Yeah, but I just spent another hour on him today finishing him off, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with how he came out. Yeah, something about the model felt like it needed something else, and that area was quite blank. So g'day Paul. Hey Paul, hey Paul, hey Paul. If you don't know what I'm referring to, you got to go watch the video I posted on last night's stream, or one of them anyway. Yeah, so just finished it off. Relatively happy with most of the aspects of it. I think, yeah, one of those things. If you spent many hours on, you could get it to be looking good, but I enjoyed the experience painting it, and we'll call that a day. Continue with this fellow, who I have to say I am also really enjoying painting. Wasn't sure how I was going to feel about painting this model. Actually, it's a pretty full-on model. Yeah, relatively comfortable, mate. It's non-obtrusive in the positioning I've got it now. I don't feel in any way hampered by having the camera there. The two things that I notice is I normally have a light very close to the model. Like, I like to really have a lot of light on it, and I can't do that because it blocks the view of the camera. So I had an electrician come in a couple of days ago and install a big LED light above me, which seems to have made a bit of a difference. Certainly improved. It's not as much light as I would like still. Yeah, so it's not really impacting my painting. The thing I'm struggling with most with this guy is just both this dude and the rider. Very awkward to hold comfortably. I mean, I had to rig up this little jibber. I've used this plinth many occasions for holding things. I painted a big 1:8 scale model who I put on this to hold, and it's just a good little holdy thing, but it's also very wide, and this is overhanging, so it feels a bit uncomfortable. That's a long-winded way of saying I don't have a problem with it. Yeah, well, the way I've positioned the camera, it's on a slight angle, so it's not sort of like directly. Thanks, Still a Rebel. it's not directly like in front of my eyes, so my view of the model is straight on, and the camera is just to the side, pointing in on an angle. So you're probably not getting the most optimal angle, but yeah, it's looks pretty good from when I'm looking at it anyway. So, thanks Still a Rebel. I'm making some headway. Probably the trickiest part of setting the stream up actually has been getting the camera in the right spot so that I didn't feel obstructed. And I ended up buying like a really good tripod and a specific ball joint for the tripod to hold my camera, and that's been really awesome. That's a great question, Rumble. I actually went the other way when I saw it. I felt like the Dragon was the focal point, but yeah, the riders are really, really graceful, nice model. So I talked a little bit about it in a couple of nights stream. This model here is more desaturated than the Rider. So I've got a similar colour palette between the two. G'day Ravencat. Good evening. Yeah, similar colour between the two. So we've got yellows and greens and reds. But this is more saturated and draws your eye more. So that's sort of the way I'm trying to balance the two. Keep the similar palettes, but have this be a desaturated version of the same colours, so that this guy stands out like dog's balls, and this guy, yeah, kind of feels like a base for him to stand on. But yeah, still interesting to look at. I'm glad you feel that way, Gilthorn. Painting is normally what I do all weekend if I can get away from my girlfriend, who's probably watching the stream tonight, admiring my shirt. You're welcome, friend. Said a couple of times that the reason I've set up this is to try and teach my way of doing things, or my approach, and that adds value for me, because me just explaining to you what was going on in my head sort of solidified some of the things. G'day Koala74, thank you for checking them out on YouTube. Yes, they are all going to get uploaded there, I imagine, till I become a sellout. Good morning, Maiden, from Spain. Amazing. I was in Seville in 2019, went to Seville and a small town called Merida. My girlfriend and I travelled from Lisbon by car. We drove all the way to Seville, stopped at Merida overnight. Seville's such a beautiful place, my God. Couldn't get over it. Gilthorn, oils, great question. I actually, a few years ago, I went and bought a couple of oils with intention to try them out. And so I did some research on how to use them and, you know, what sort of techniques you have to do. And when I found out that they take like fucking what feels like 6 months to dry, I basically just put them back in the box. Yeah, I'm not a patient man. So I would like to experiment with them, but yeah, I mean, in many ways they probably are something that I would really enjoy using, because they do provide a really quick result. You just then have to leave that result to dry for however long it is. Yes. May, this is from Robot Rocket Miniatures. It's a model that's called Wind Rider. Super cool. So yeah, maybe oils down the track. As I said, I'm just not patient. Like, I just having to wait for oils to dry. Even if I was like finishing up for the night and I was like going to bed, just like I would with acrylic painting, I just had to leave the oils overnight and come back the next day. It would just shit me off that I have to stop, because sometimes when I'm feeling, when I'm in the painting mood. Thanks, Latin Reiner. Yeah, sometimes when I'm in the mood, I just want to paint. I don't want to stop. I'm feeling the vibe, feeling the flow. Just want to keep painting. So. What a fantastic message. Thank you, Reiner. Reiner. There's actually a new miniature company producing some models called Reiner Roger, which I recently followed on Instagram. Of course, Gil Fawn, let's have a look at your models right now, mate. Let's have a little look. Thank you. You also paint on and keep living the dream. Some Kingdom Death models. Awesome. Big Wacko Jacko, mate. I came by my name through birth. There's many denizens in my family, but I am the biggest. Here is Barangat's Kingdom Death models. Indeed, the best way to come up with that nickname, I found. Indeed. So we've got some. I'm painting this dragon, which we'll come back to after I've done some critique here on Gil Fawn's oil painted Kingdom Death. Old Joe and young Rachel, I believe their names are, in case you're wondering. So. My feelings are that if we put it in grayscale, we would probably see there is. I can't remember if I can do that with the browser image. Properties. I remember I could do it somehow. No, can't figure it out. Oh well. Yeah, so I think you've still got some challenges with the value differentiation between the skin tone and the fabric. They're both very similar value. So when I think there's probably enough contrast of value between the top of the loincloth and the bottom of the loincloth for both of them. But the problem is that loincloth is sitting in a similar sort of value range to the skin tone. So when you're looking at it, you're just kind of, you're not a grey blob, but you're just seeing sort of all these colours just get a little bit lost in each other. So I would have tried to maybe start the fabric a little bit darker and have it be a little bit darker at its high points. There's a really interesting thing about lantern light and OSL that I think is really. I'm just trying to think if I've got a lighter I can show you now, but Roman Gruber explained it in his class, which we did with him a little while back, and actually OSL in general is done usually wrong, because if I was to hold up a lantern or a light here now, because of the natural light above me, there wouldn't be much colour change at all on me. It'd be very, very hard to notice. However, if I turn the light off, my entire colour palette changes to be that orange, the same colour as the light. So appreciate that everyone does OSL on the Kingdom Death lanterns, which is cool. But that OSL is also probably not high enough value. It doesn't stand out any differently to the skin tone of the guy. So yeah, it's probably continue with values, continue to try and increase the values. But I have to say, I think that for oils, that looks really cool. I mean, I very much doubt I could achieve anywhere near that sort of result with oils without a fair bit of practice. One final note: if you have a look at the leg of Old Joe, it's a great example of just how an object should be highlighted. You have to first ask yourself, where is the direction of the light? And it looks like if you have a look at his bald melon head, that the light's coming from roughly the top, maybe slightly to the left. And so there should be actually pretty high value up the top of his leg, and the shadow should actually be down the bottom of the leg, whereas you've got that reversed. And that's usually a common error when you sort of try to push contrast. Your natural inclination, a lot of us come from a Games Workshop background, is to highlight the areas that are raised and shadow the areas that are in recess, but that's not always the right way to approach it. So anyway, it's looking good, mate. Keep cracking on, keep having a practice. Like this little section here is a prime example, right? This line, most people's natural inclination would be to put that in shadow. But if the light's coming from the top, that's not in shadow. That's actually a highlight. Really easy mistake to make, and just you see a lot of people do it. But one of the best examples of this, g'day Markham 3D. If you jump on Google and probably do this at home on your home computer, but just Google shirtless black and white man and have a look at some of the pictures that come up. Generally go with me here, but generally you have a look at the lighting. There's a line in between the pectoral muscles that's most people do it as a shadow because it's recessed, but actually depending on where the light is, that can often be the brightest highlight. So probably don't do that one at work though, friends. Not speaking from experience here. been a good weekend of streaming for me. I've done 3 streams this weekend. It's been a lot of fun. Just been painting away. Awesome, Raven Cat. Chuck us some pictures in the chat so we can have a look. Sorry, Mrs. Loophole. Sorry, my voice sucks. What is it about my voice that's annoying? Is it my Australian accent, or is it the fact that I gibber? Sorry. I'll try and tone it down. Markham, you could have the patience for this. Anyone can achieve it. I believe in you. Well, do something nice for her, mate. Maybe buy her a hat. Oh, that's from the Dark Souls board game. I can't remember what that guy's name is, but he's the one with the limpy leg, isn't he? Artorias, yes, that's him. Painted quite a few of those models myself. That's awesome, champion. I really like the base, actually. The bases were one of the things that pissed me off about the Dark Souls models. They never looked interesting enough, but you've got the lines clearly marked out so you can get in there. It's good. True metallic metal looks good. Lots of colours in there, which I like. Yeah, why not buy her a hat, mate? Never know, she might rock it. Might go out with her if she's wearing a cool hat and you're like, fuck yeah, my wife wearing a hat. Might revolutionise your relationship, mate. Did you get all of the Kickstarter? Everything, Raven Cat? Cool. Yeah, I got Darkroot and Iron Keep and all of the bosses except for 4 Kings and the other one that was limited edition, the big dude, the big demon dude. It's only his top half. Can't remember what his name is. Old King? Maybe? Don't remember. Ah, cool. Calamity in the Chariot, yeah. You played the game much? Oh, g'day, Jan. Yeah, that was my experience with it too. A friend of mine, we played quite a few little games, and we basically found that, and it was an interpretation that the the creative team at Steamforge made to make the game feel like the computer game. But grinding in a computer game is a bit of a different thing than grinding in a board game. Nobody wants to grind in a board game. Not to that extent anyway. So yeah, we just basically house ruled. Anytime we got equipment, we'd draw 2, pick 1, and anytime we cleared a room, we'd do 2 souls instead of 1 reward. We found that kept the game still fairly challenging, because it's still challenging. You've got to level up your stats over a period of time, and even if you get great equipment, you can't use it early on. So yeah, but that was fun, and the boss battles are unreal. The boss battles are fantastic. That's a good idea, yeah. I just didn't want to have to mess around with the decks that much, because we sort of played it a fair bit. Didn't want to have to reset every couple of games. So I figured we'd just shuffle everything together and then draw 2, pick 1. Seemed to work okay. No, it's actually, so the Dark Souls card game is very well regarded. I've never played the card game. I've only played the board game. But the card game, it's also done by Steamforge, really, really well regarded. It's supposed to be excellent. Yeah, I'm not generally just mad keen on card games, so I never really took much interest in it. But yeah, a couple of my friends thought it was really, really, really good. So I decided I'm repainting the eyes. And I'm going to paint them like lion's eyes. So they're going to be yellow. So something I do when I'm not confident or have done something like that before is I download a picture like this. So I'm going to just have that off to the side here, so it's something for me to look at whilst I'm attempting to paint these eyes. Yes, I've also been playing Tainted Grail. I just recently got the second wave stuff, so I've dived into the Last Night campaign, currently on chapter 4 with Mab, playing solo. Yeah, it's good. I'm not enjoying it as much as I enjoyed the first wave. Oh, g'day Mr. Snowyak the Island Painter. What a cool name. Thank you for becoming a new follower. Mr. Snowyak the Island Painter. Great stuff. I actually tried the app, and it just frustrated me because it takes so much longer to listen to that than for me to read it. Like I read very quickly, so yeah, all I wanted to do was be like, come on, hurry up, fuck. So yeah, I didn't end up sticking with that. Just going old school book, and I actually thought I was going to be mad keen on the app too. Mr. Snowyak the Island Painter is covering up all of my awesome stuff up the top there. so we want you and you and you. That's okay. It's not your fault, Mrs. Nayak. It's all my fault for being an awful Twitch streamer. So my observation of the picture of the lion's eyes that I'm looking at is that the irises make up a much larger portion of the eye than they do on normal eyeballs. That's the first thing I'm going to change. It's a lot of board games. Currently I am very, very close to finishing off my Rising Sun, and I'll start on Blood Rage, and I'm hoping that Ankh will arrive right around the time I finish Blood Rage. We'll see. I've already finished Nemesis. Finished that pretty quickly. Yeah, the third eyes. It's actually hidden. I didn't notice it when I first painted the model too. Actually, the Space Cats is the only model I haven't painted from the entire Nemesis models. I forgot it was in one of my expansion boxes and I didn't paint it. So I've got every other model in the entire thing painted. All of the Void Seeders, all of the Carnomorphs, all of the original ones, all the expansion characters, and I didn't paint the first fucking player cat. What is Wonder like? Because I had $1 on that in the Kickstarter, and then I ended up not diving into it for some reason. I seem to remember the models were super cool, but because there was a dude selling a second-hand copy in my board games selling group that I frequent. I saw today. Reminded me of it. Thought I might have a look into that. Gilthorne, my friend. Talked about it on Saturday morning stream, but I am buying every single one of them. Oh, sorry, have every single one of them coming to me. I was Kickstarter backer number 1. Raven Cat, don't do it to me, mate. I fucking haven't seen anything. They won't send them to Australia. It's fucked. I had a huge project plan with all of the models. It's going to be great. Probably. May also be awful. Shadows over Camelot. Maybe I'm thinking of incorrectly. It's Echoes of Camelot. What's Shadows over Camelot? I'm completely wrong there. Huh. Awesome, I'll have to look into that. It's one of our favourite types of games actually, is the ones with the hidden trader. Not always implemented well. We love it in Nemesis, because you've always got that element of, you never know if someone's helping you legitimately just so they can further their own goal, or if they're helping you until they can find an opportune moment to stab you in the back. It's great, very good. Gilthorne, if you go and have a look at, I think it was last night's or the Saturday morning stream, yeah, I talk about my entire project plan for the Echoes of Camelot Kickstarter. It's going to be pretty silly. It's probably going to take up a large percentage of the stream if I'm still streaming when they arrive. At this rate, they might not arrive for another 2 years. COVID. Ornstein. To be whiter. More white. Oh, check it. Yes, marble base. That is awesome. That looks perfect. I think my airbrush is a bit of a crutch, actually, friends. I think I use it too often. Oh, Cujo! Hello, friend. What's happening today? You having a great day? Sunday morning? Tending to the bees, are you? Bees? Yes, everyone should go watch Cujo's eye video. That will tell you what to do Whereas I am over here trying to paint eyes, and I am showing how not to do it. This is not even a little bit going to work. Don't like inks. Sounds like a good plan, mate. Can't backfire at all. Just practicing my airbrush dots on my little cardboard, in case you're wondering. That's nice. I think we asked Cujo that already, and he basically said that he was too jealous of my success and couldn't do it. Something like that anyway. I don't recall the specifics. When I'm talking about success, of course, I'm talking about Mage Knight, not painting success. Let's kick it up a notch. Fluoro! Pew! Bam! Get your Spice Weasel. Kick it up a notch. As a joke, Loophole, I was being funny. I'm a funny guy. You may not have noticed. Fluoro. Oh shit! I just sprayed fluoro everywhere, all over my cardboard. I'm going to slide the cardboard over so you can see. It's very funny. Looks like a crime scene. Looks like I've killed a fucking a minion. Wonder what colour Minion's blood actually is. I'm sure it's not yellow. You're a funny guy, Sully. That's why I kill you last. Ha ha ha, Commando. Another person got my reference. Well done. Points for you. this one should be interesting and risky. This airbrushing here. Love a bit of risky airbrushing. Lets you know you're alive. You know, there's a fantastic YouTube video, 130 great Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes, and it's just, yeah, a montage of Arnold quotes from all of his films, and yeah, there's some bangers in there, but one of my favourites is actually from what's that one where he's on fucking Mars, Total Recall, and in Total Recall the bad guy's name's Richter, and oh no, he's not that. I'm not gonna talk about the movie, but anyway, he says he gets invited to a party by Richter, and then he pulls Richter's arms off, and whilst he's holding Richter's arms, he goes, "See you at the party, Richter." Of course, it does include quotes from his bodybuilding career. Having sex is like, it's like coming. Pumping iron is like having sex with a woman and coming. Classic. Total Recall is an amazing film, actually. I tried to get my girlfriend to watch it the other day. She never watched it. And I was like, it's the best. It's fucking peak Arnie. He's so classic. You're gonna love it. She watched about 15 minutes of it. Didn't believe me when I told her it was Sharon Stone. She's like, that's not Sharon Stone, don't be ridiculous. I said, it fucking is. Anyway, it turned out that she hated it. It's like Chewbacca before Chewbacca was around. Someone should look up if George Lucas was inspired by the sounds of Chewbacca from Arnold. Yeah. Fuck, I love a bit of cheeky airbrushing, eh? If it bleeds, we can kill it. Yep, I have. The Conan one. The Conan one was great. Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of the women. Hear the lamentation of the women. Incredible. Clam, where is the the wizard who killed my mother? Still, I can recall his terrible gaze. Amazing. And if you do not listen, then to hell with you. To hell with you. It is a must see. If you're not, stop watching me paint and go and watch it on YouTube right now, because it will change your life. Absolutely will change your life. Still a rebel. I am painting the eyes that look like a lion's eyes because I didn't like them. So that's where we're at right now. The problem with the eyes, Stiller, I was trying to get them to look like Falcor's eyes. And I am not very good at painting human eyes that look good at this scale. These are very, very big eyes. So I'm trying to do it in a different way, which I think will look okay. We hope. And besides, no one should be talking right now. Everyone should be watching that Arnold Schwarzenegger film of him singing. Starting to run out of collared shirts to wear. I was hoping Chum Dabs would be on the stream tonight, just so I could, you know, show him this collared shirt. No, I'm disappointed now. Guy's obviously not a real denizen, not a real fan, not like you, Paul. Gotta fucking get this Camera on screen. Thanks, Frog Jim Jaff, my man. They're more orange than yellow. It's a bit suboptimal, Deno. Hear the lamentation of the women. It's up there. It certainly is up there. Shut. Loophole. Are we assuming that you finished watching the video of Arnold Schwarzenegger's musical Conan? I'm going to assume you did. It is glorious. Life-changing moment. Life-changing moment for me. Where is the wizard who killed my mother? Alright, they have small pupils lines actually, I didn't realise. Very small pupils. Well, in the picture that I'm looking at, he does, but I've just realised that he may have pupils the size of a normal thing because they're small because of the sunlight, because they're, I don't know what the opposite of dilated is, but they're whatever the opposite of dilated is. Yes. Yes. Well, this guy's flying around in the sunshine. Contracted, there you go. Thanks, Azathoth. Just like the Egyptian god Thoth. Full of knowledge. Evidently not about eyeballs and pupils, though. Played a Arkham Horror card game recently. Played through a full campaign of one of the, I think it was the second thing that came out. King in Yellow. Quite good. This one up on top looks more like a fucking Eye of Sauron. Hmm. Alright, I think that's starting to look pretty cool now. I'm relatively happy with that. It's not perfect, but I like it. Yeah, reference picture's good. I don't use it a lot, just when I'm not sure how to do something. Cool. Alright, so this guy is just needs this bit here done, and then that whole area. And I'll just do a little bit of tweaking of these to add a bit of highlighting back in. And then I think we might put Old Mate on the rider and start working on the whole piece. Yeah, I think so too, mate. Just wasn't working, the brown eyes, the humanoid eyes. Maybe they would have if I could paint eyes like Cujo, but I can't. So. Alright, so this area here has been doing my head in actually. Tried lots of different colours and haven't really enjoyed any of them. Let's try some more. Cujo, you've got that fucking Conan musical stuck in my head now, mate. I was trying to avoid singing syllable songs tonight, and instead I've just gone crazy on YouTube's. Ridiculous. What colour am I looking for? Red leather. Where are you, you fucking mug? I did have these organised in perfect order, ordered by colours. That lasted about 3 days. Oh, there you are. I see you. I see you now. My friend Luke and I, Koki, we play Star Wars Rebellion once every couple of weeks recently. It's a really good game actually. But the coolest thing about that game is literally just the top. You get to say quotes from Star Wars because you get to be shit guys like General Riken or some of those really crappy commanders from the Empire. They've got like the guy who says, "We shall double our efforts." That guy, you can be him. Fuck, it's fun to say stuff like, "We shall double our efforts" when you play that guy. It's the best. Still hanging around, Fen? Ah, thanks, Sasha's the greatest. I also think you're the greatest. Well done. I was just going to ask Fen about there's a board game coming out hopefully this year, maybe later in the year, called Sankukushan. Oh, look, mate, we've all been there. Was it Sasha Fox or Sasha Grey, out of interest? Yeah, Sankukushan looks fucking awesome. Is that how you spell it? I don't know. I don't know how you spell it. But yeah, it looks cool. I just wanted to see if Fen had any inside goss on when the Kickstarter is going to go live. I like the models. Sculpted by one of my favourite sculptors, Sankukushan. Awesome. Yes, Charles Agius did the sculpt of that that model that they did on Kickstarter. I didn't end up getting it actually. Sort of thought I was on the fence for a long time. Thanks, Sasha. But yeah, I just didn't think it was going to be a model I would do justice. But having just painted this model, which has got a similar aesthetic, maybe I'll see if I can track down a copy. Got to tell you, Sasha's the greatest. It is a 3D model, mate, so it is a three-dimensional figure. So that's why it's popping like it's in 3D, because it is. A walking stick handle. Never thought of that. Yeah, that's the one, Paul. I'm just not sure when it is due out on Kickstarter. Thought I heard a rumour that it was at Q4 this year, but I don't know if that was just me imagining it or something that was actually happening. Not that I really need to back any more Kickstarter games this year. Went crazy last year. Whew. That is a aggressive call, Sasha. This dragon actually has a rider. I suppose I could do blood spatter on him. That might look cool, actually. Here is the rider, Sasha. Yes, celery, those models look sublime. Okay. Thanks, Sasha. Yeah, I'm pretty jazzed for Sanko Kushan. I've got so the Kickstarter games I've got coming at the moment. I've got Oathsworn. I've got Aeon Trespass Odyssey. I've got Sea of Legends. I've got Gambler's Chest, Kingdom Death Wave 2, 3, whatever the fuck wave it is, and Cujo's talking about a board game coming out, Champion. I'm going to go check my file. I have to keep a file of that many Kickstarters and shit and models that I buy. Echoes of Camelot, Sea of Legends, Ankh, Aeon Trespass Odyssey, Gambler's Chest, Hell the Last Saga, and Oathsworn. They're in order of when I should receive them. Camelot was supposed to be January. Fuckers. People got him in January, but not Australians. Sea of Legends Feb, Ankh probably more like June now. Aeon Trespass is supposed to be May, but that'll push you out for sure. Gambler's Chest, we'll see that in May 22. And then I've got Daleguard minis, Limbo minis from Kickstarters, and yeah. G'day, Sharkwold. Glorious weekend, mate. Glorious weekend. Oh, that was a bit stupid. Got black paint all over my finger. That could have ended poorly. Did I miss it? Did I get it anywhere else? No. Cool. I sure did, Dibs. Sure did paint the Jigger Lion. Let me show you a picture of it. You play in 2 rugby matches. That is some pretty impressive stuff, mate. Because I used to play rugby league, and I would play 1 match, and I would play for about 40 minutes of said match, and I would be absolutely fucking gassed. So, did do a bit more tackling, I suppose, in the rugby league, didn't we? A bit more tackling than you guys. You guys fall down, lie down on the ground for a bit, have a lot of breaks, kick the ball out when you want to have a breath. Just scrolling through my Twitter to find it because can't take the picture from Instagram. Fuck, I did those KDM models in a fucking rapid time frame, didn't I? Jigger Lion. Oh, you watched 2. Fair enough. Yeah, that was my Jigger Lion. One Jigger Lion from Kingdom Death. Pretty cool model. Enjoyed painting it. It's actually got quite a similar colour palette to this one I'm doing. Interestingly, the Dragon's probably a bit more refined. Let's see, what other cool Kingdom Death models can I show off that don't include you-know-whats? I was pretty happy with my Spidicules. This is my Spidicules. You'd be surprised how quick that model was to paint. I think I did it in about 2 hours. There's a lot of contrast paints, a lot of airbrushing, and yeah, the plinth. So technically, the model can't have a base, right? He's got a base because little dudes stand underneath him and try and stab him from below. But in practicality, it just made it so much better to play with. You just tap the model just slightly on the overhanging the base, as opposed to trying to move the big gooby guy around with his hands on the ground. So yeah, I was a pretty big fan of that one. Let's see, any other cool ones? Yeah, here's my Dragon King, I suppose. This one took quite a while. It's a very big model though. So yeah, that one was cool. A few more airbrushing tricks. A a few more contrast paints on that. And I actually use a lot of fluoro colours for his nuclear thing. Yeah, I wonder how much of the thing was inspired by the Titanite Demon, because it does look very similar, doesn't it? And look, just a cheeky flex now. Here's my. This should be fine to post. No obvious you-know-whats. That's my Kingdom Death collection that I painted in 2 weeks. Jim, I use them for a lot of different things. I mean, on this guy, I've used them several times as glazes, several times as filters. Thank you, Rumble. They're just, I find them to be, so I've talked about it before, but what they do really well is they add saturation. I could have, but that's my only claim to fame, mate, is the speed. I use them to add saturation to areas. So when you normally talk about washes like Devlin Mud and those other fuckers, Agrax, Earthshade and shit, the problem that you have with those is because of the way they're made, they tend to 2 weeks. They tend to muddy the colours, so you get everything muddier. Whereas I found the contrast paints actually tend to sometimes add saturation. Depends on which one though. Like generally the thinner ones are really good at adding saturation and interest. So I just have a lot of time for them for that reason. I just sort of use them like an ink. Oh, thanks, Sharkwold. Yes, they needed changing. They weren't looking like what I wanted them to look like, so now they do. Well, not really, but they look like better. Two weeks. Nope, that was real time. That was real time paint jobs. Posted the work in progress on my Twitter if you don't believe me. But it's just because and if you've watched this stream and the other streams, you've just seen I use a lot of like airbrush tricks, a lot of like contrast paints. What I do is I over contrast and then use the glazes and the filtering to bring the contrast down and smooth out blends. So it's just my technique, the way that I do things. It's very quick. I've tried to show people how I do it. Actually, I had a couple of guys come over and hang out and be like, "Yeah, man, show us how you do your painting." Yeah, cool, man, let's do it. So we sit down, I'm like, so just do this little bit of airbrushing, and then do this thing, and then, so they try and replicate it, and just looks dog shit, like absolute dog shit it looks like. So I'm not saying no one can do it, I'm just saying you just got to practice it. Just takes time. It's the time that made me able to do it as quickly as I can. Yeah, we were talking about Total Recall earlier in the night. Oh, g'day, Q. I think we're going to put this guy down and go back to some Rider soon. It's a bit exciting. Getting close to finishing, I think. Oh, g'day, Droopy. Thanks, mate. Well, it's actually night time for me, friends, so I'm going to go to bed after I finish painting for the night. But I hope you have a great day. Falcon burninating the peasants. My girlfriend just got a puppy. Had him for 4 months now, actually. Yeah, she struggled the first couple of months. She couldn't believe how much the little dickhead had to go out to the toilet all the time. But yeah, he's going well now. Kids take a bit longer, I've heard. Is it worth watching Shark World? I've had so many people recommend that show to me, and I've never got around to watching it. Yeah, I may have to give it a go. The problem I've got right now is there's so many shows I want to watch, and then I've also got the competing priorities of, well, if I sit down and watch TV, then I'm not doing any painting, which is what I really enjoy doing. So generally I make a decision between, do I want to start a new TV show, or do I want to just put on an old TV show that I've watched before so that I can have it on in the background so that I can paint. And that's usually where I land. But I've been watching a few bits and pieces recently. Yeah, the other side of that is I'll watch a show if my girlfriend's going to watch it. Huh. That was a great episode. It's called Objects in Space. Or was it? No, Out of Gas. Objects in Space was the finale. Out of Gas. Great episode. So I was one of those people who'd never watched Firefly until, like, after it was already cancelled. And a friend of mine kept recommending it, and I was like, yeah, I'll watch it. So I went and bought the DVD, and I watched it. This is a funny story, actually. And I went through the whole first season in a couple of weeks, maybe even less, might have been a couple of days. And then I called up my mate and I was like, why the fuck did that show get cancelled? Why the fuck? That is just an absolute travesty. And he's like, yeah, welcome to my life for the last few years. And I said to him, man, I just want to watch more of it. So he said, you watch the movie? Was it a fucking movie? So I went and downloaded the movie, or actually I think I might have actually purchased it. I think I've still got the DVD. because I don't illegally download films and television. Anyway, so I go and watch the movie. It's awesome. Call mate up. How good's this fucking movie, man? What happens next? He's like, yeah, that's it. No more Firefly ever. So this is fucking bullshit. So anyway, I rewatched it about 2 years later. G'day, Millennia. I rewatched the whole show about 2 years later, and I load up the first DVD, the first disc, and the way so they had really bad titles. You know how on DVDs they have titles of the episode names? So the first episode is called Serenity, Part 1 and Part 2. The second episode is called The Train Job, and Firefly fans would know that The Train Job was aired out of order. That was considered the introduction to the show by Fox, which was a travesty. But then on that first thing, the way that the titles are listed, it looks like it says Serenity and then The Train Job Bushwhacked. I thought the title of the second episode was The Train Job Bushwhacked. Anyway, it turns out that Bushwhacked is actually a third episode of the series, and I never fucking watched it. So like 2 years after I watched the series for the very first time, I sat down and I got to watch a brand new episode of Firefly. Almost cried myself. I almost cried. I was that excited. Unfortunately, it's an awful episode where they have a person who becomes a Reaver. But glorious moment. Glorious moment for me. Cujo, I don't appreciate that tone of voice, mate. Can't help it, I can't fucking read. Oh. That is something that I would be all over. Like Big Dano on a cream bun. Yeah, Jane, the man they call Jane. That was a good episode, actually. Jane was always such a good character. Complex. It's not like you didn't understand his motivations at any point. I don't know what my favourite episode of Firefly would be. That'd be hard to decide. Cool, yeah, I will have to check out The Expanse, it seems. Too many people recommending it for me to turn a blind eye. I watched Star Trek Discovery Season 3 recently. That is a very good show. If you've never watched a Star Trek franchise, it'd be a pretty good one to start with. Let's have a look at this guy. Alright. just going to brighten this little bit here because I'm about to do some airbrushing over the top of it. So I need there to be more contrast. You know, Cujo, when I realised I had that episode to watch, man, I turned the DVD player off, went out, bought myself a nice bottle of wine, sat down on the couch, cracked the bottle, ordered in some Uber Eats, just treated myself. Treat yourself to a night. It was a special night for me. It was glorious. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Problem is I don't know exactly what colour I'm gonna fucking airbrush. Crimson? Is crimson crazy? Probably is crazy. Kind of orangey crimson, I think. Fat Donut, welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a great time. Talking about completely irrelevant pop culture references while I paint this cool dragon guy. I didn't watch that. That was the one with Jason Momoa, isn't it? Boy, do I have a Jason Momoa story to share. Won't be sharing it on tonight's stream, I'll tell you that much. Thanks, Poe. Edgar Allan. Yeah, I think they're a little bit better than they were. That's such a Scottish way to say that. Nary a fucking flake. Amazing. Well done, friend. There's been so much fucking awesome TV and shit to watch recently. I just have to prioritise it. Look, I haven't even watched Titans on Netflix. One of my mates said it was fucking awesome. I watched like 2 episodes and I was starting to get into it. And I stopped. Watched something else. Thanks, Pink Roses in June. Yeah, Lovecraft Country, there's another one I was keen to watch. Didn't get around to it. Right, I'm gonna varnish this guy and then have a mull over him. There may be some things I want to do afterwards, but we'll give it a varnish and see how we feel. It's weird, you know, I never... Oh, thanks, Frog Jim. Have a great night, friend. I just don't, I don't really understand the obsession over a Snyder cut. It's like, I don't think the way he cuts together the movie is going to change the fact that it was just a really substandard plot and build up to bringing the characters together. I don't. Everything DC does is just feels like it's struggling to beat Marvel at its own game, but it hasn't laid the foundations in the same way. So. The models, Pink Rose is in June. Talking about the name of these models. So this model's called Wind Rider. It's from a manufacturer called Robot Rocket Miniatures. And there's a rider. I'll show you the rider in a moment. Cujo, any thoughts, mate? How do we feel? How do we feel about the dragon side of things? And everyone else, I suppose. How do we feel? I'll zoom out a bit. I think I like it. That's very helpful feedback, Cujo. Jay Mapupsi, it's autopilted to you as well, friend. Let's continue with Wind Rider himself. So I'm gonna do some patterns inside the red circles. Just gonna refer to my little picture that I downloaded again. If I can find it. Well, there's a lot of elaborate patterns on this page that don't look great to me. Here's the page I downloaded. Look at all these great patterns. I don't think I can do any of those in the space that I've provided myself. Thanks, Kung Fu. Maybe this one. Might be able to do that in a smaller space. Like not as aggressive. I don't reckon I could do any of the others. Yeah, we'll try this one. Top right and down 1. This motherfucker, you're on drugs, mate. Fuck off. Get absolutely fucked, pal. That's a reasonable one, Jim. Spirals. Spiral Central, but no, I don't think we'll be going for spirals. Oh, look what I've done here. I literally was about to put my hand on a model. Go me. I'm having a good time tonight with paint splatters. How good would that have been? Looks like we're replacing our little cloth. Wouldn't have been that bad. Just could have painted over it. Done some more painting. Not the worst thing that can happen. Oof, Imperial Assault. So Imperial Assault is basically a Star Wars version of the board game Descent. And I have played a lot of Descent, but I haven't played Star Wars Imperial Assault. A few things they changed, I believe, when they did the transition. But yeah, no, I've never played Imperial Assault. One of my mates, Sheldon, has every expansion and everything released. Yeah, it'd be a pretty good game, I'd guess. If it's anything like Descent, it'd be good. Oh dear. Alright. Let's see how we go here. So we want to... Better do that. We really enjoyed Descent, but the problem with Descent is the same problem with a lot of dungeon crawlers. Just a dice chucker. That's all it is. And after you've played Gloomhaven, it sort of becomes less satisfying. So how am I going on camera? Yeah, okay. Yeah, and that's kind of its problem. I won't say we exclusively play crunchy sort of games like Gloomhaven and stuff, but yeah, when you've got a game that's just move, roll dice and see if you can roll dice better than X, Y, or Z, it's less engaging. currently playing Spirit Island on the app. They did an app version, which is very good. I'm making my way through trying to beat all of the adversaries. Currently up to level 3. Trying to beat the adversaries on level 3. Yeah, I mean, it's a fair enough observation, mate. Sometimes I do feel like something a little bit simpler. Yeah, we actually were talking about doing another Descent campaign just the other day, so. Yeah, Gloomhaven is just, yeah. I reckon, it's probably not the right game to be number 1 on BGG, because it probably is not representative of everyone's cup of tea, but it's certainly the best board game experience I've had to date. Yeah, so one of the guys, I think I've spoken about him before, Koki, he's the Descent guy in our group. So yeah, we've got a group of 5 guys that play every Tuesday, and each one of us sort of has games that we buy everything for. Koki's got all of the Descent stuff. I think this is a worthwhile endeavour, hey? Doing that symbol. That looks better to me. In the circles. Cujo, this was your suggestion, by the way, dickhead. So, if this looks shit, it's your fault. Yeah, that's a cool reason to paint it, mate. In fact, it's the best reason. Wow, Croala, yeah, awesome. Well, I played it 2 players with me and Koki, and it took us about 3.5 months, but we were cranking through two scenarios a night, and we played probably 2 or 3 nights a week, so we were going hard at it. I just like getting stuck in, mate. Like, not here to waste time. Not here to fuck spiders. Get in there and have a go. I'll tell you the one thing, it's because I don't have kids. G'day, Flickster. Mate, never apologise. You've done nothing wrong. I did actually see your message. Oh, 6 players. Awesome. Yeah. Flickster, what do you think of this, bro? I dig it. I dig it a lot. I think this was a really... Thanks, Katana Oni. I think this was a really good call from Cujo. Really good call. So I was thinking about this this model, and I was looking at this angle, and I realised I think I need a circle here. It just looks too empty from this angle, I reckon. And you do look at it because the side of the dragon's pretty cool. So I reckon you're gonna have people looking at it from this angle. So I'm gonna do a couple down here, I think, which isn't what I wanted to do, but whatever. We're at a point now where I feel like this is a pretty cool model of mine, so. And I'm enjoying painting it, so let's keep the good times rolling. Oh, thanks, the Benjo Man. What an awesome name. The Benjo Man. No, I certainly didn't sculpt this, mate. This was a sculpt by some excellent 3D sculptor somewhere, and this dude is riding this dragon. His name is Wind Rider from Robot Rocket Miniatures. This dude sits on top and goes, "Hoya!" Because he's a fucking legend. Thanks, mate. I made that one wonky as shit. Yes, I think they're pretty awesome. Nah. No, mate. I am from Brisbane, Australia. Other side of the planet. Top of the morning to you, the Benjo Man. So just one thing I'm noticing, friends, so this is not something I do a lot of, painting freehand. And I talk a lot about practice when I talk about how to improve. I already feel like I can paint better lines than I could when I was painting the circles. Just from practicing freehands over the last few painting sessions. Isn't that interesting? Just from doing it, just from like getting in there and having a crack. The bathroom man. Kung Fu, I mean, it's not an easy thing to help with, because I know that everyone's at a different space in their painting journey, but I think you've got to probably just ask yourself, what are my goals? What do I want to achieve out of my painting? That usually helps solidify what you should be practicing on. Usually. I think most people that are struggling with painting, feeling a bit aimless or not knowing what to practice on, is usually because they don't know what their goal is. And if your goal is just enjoyment, g'day Dorian Phoenix. It is Robot Rocket, the manufacturer, and the model's called Wind Rider. And I'll show you the dragon in a second that he rides. I did indeed use an airbrush, and I am going to do some airbrushing on this very soon as well, to smooth in all of these red bits that I'm just painting in now. Shut up, Rick. Yes, here's the dragon. He rides this dragon. Rider. Yeah, so you gotta then go and look at, well, what does display painting mean for you? Are you painting models to try and sell them? Are you painting models to enter into competition? Are you painting because you want to just sit down and enjoy painting? Thanks, Dorian Phoenix. We're working on it, trying to get better. Yeah, so for me, display painting was just so I could enjoy painting more. And I found that I wanted to get better, obviously. But when the ultimate goal is just to do it for enjoyment, then that sort of becomes secondary. Trying to get better. And that's usually when you start improving. I do not do this for a living, Benjamin. This is a hobby for me. I am a rank amateur. There are some great professional miniature painters on here. I'll tell you one thing that'll probably help, mate, and this is generally where most people that want to get into display painting need to start, and that is understanding light and colour. Probably what you're finding right now is you don't know what to practice on because you don't know what you're doing wrong. The way my girlfriend feels about cheese, mate, she fucking considers it an art form, so... So yeah, just go and do some research. I think I recommended a book the other night called Light, Figurepedia, Volume 1, Light and Colour by Jeremy Bonham-Taboo. That guy breaks down miniature art and talking about the two terms, light and colour. What it sounds like to me is if you're a bit stuck on where do you go to improve, more than likely that's because you're at the top of your knowledge ceiling. And so you need to develop more knowledge so that you can then have a skill set to practice. Exactly, Pixel Pirate, exactly. Who buys my models? I've got a variety of people that are interested in collecting my works, fortunately for me. There's a few collectors in China that have bought some of my models, a couple of European collectors, a couple of Americans. But I probably sell about 75% to collectors, and 25% of the models I sell are to people that I guess are on the same journey as me and just like want to support other artists and want to try and get better and want to have some models to look at. So yeah, it's sort of, that's probably the split, 75% collectors. Yeah, I mean, and as you guys have seen in my show and tells, I also buy from other artists and just to support them in the hobby, and yeah, it's good. Yeah, I think that will be a good book actually, Kung Fu. I've pretty much bought all the Scale 75 books at some point in the past and read them and handed them along, moved them along. So, Doran Phoenix, mate, it was actually just, luck's not the right word, because I don't really believe in luck. The more I practice, the luckier I get. But I just was posting pictures of my works on social media, Instagram, and I had a number of people message me through Instagram asking if my works were for sale. And yeah, so I just sort of have built up a social media presence that's resulted in me being able to sell some models, which is really fun, really cool, very humbling, and yeah, there's quite a few different platforms now that I post on, obviously Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and yeah, I've actually had collectors message me on all of those. Hello, Hot Chicken Nugget 123. You are a bot, and I don't want a gift from you, mate. Or are you? Want a gift, gift, follow. Yeah, my Instagram's actually up the top right there. Excellent. My thank you, Hot Chicken Nugget. Maybe you're not a bot. Maybe you're a real person. I understand what you're asking now. Thank you for the gift. Yeah, Paul. I think my works are not as good as other artists, but because I'm quicker, I am probably more reasonably priced than those artists. So all works out in the end. That was weird, Flick. Help me out here, mate. I need to make you a mod or something. It was an interesting feeling the first time it happened. Very interesting. I've never tried to market myself as very good. I actually have a similar response time. Generally, if I post something on Instagram or Twitter and say this model's for sale, I'll usually get a message very quickly. And I feel very lucky that that's the case. There's a lot of painters that are significantly better than me. I'm not blowing smoke up Cujo's ass when I say he's better than me. He genuinely is. Better attention to detail, better ability to do smooth blends, all that sort of stuff. The one thing I've got in my favour is I'm just quick. So most of the time I spend between depending on the model, 4 to 6 hours on a piece. That can sometimes push up to about 10, depending on the complexity of the piece. And then if I'm doing one of my stupid big projects, it can be even more than that. I don't know if Cujo's still here, but he is, he's a great painter, a fantastic painter. And I think the difference between those guys and me is they put in more time. I don't put in the time. I just do it for fun. So no, this is a pretty complex piece. This is these two models combined. So this is actually sort of like doing 2 models in one. So it's pretty complex. But yeah, I'll show you a complex piece of mine. I do love throwing these pictures up. Fuck me. Yeah, so this one is one I did recently, which is called Fairy Garden. So this one took me a week painting probably most days. It was 8 days I did it in. You can follow the progress on my Instagram if you want to check it out. So yeah, that's the sort of thing I do when I'm trying to do something a bit more complex. Yeah, if you go to my Instagram, there's actually a video of it, and I think you really get a better sense of it from the video. Actually, I'll send a link of the Facebook video actually in the chat. Oh shit, I've got a YouTube fucking account, haven't I? What a dickhead. I'll just link my YouTube video of it. Good one, Dino. One of your best. Yeah, I probably didn't say enough, but it's very, very humbling that people like my work enough to want to buy it. I never really know how to be gracious and thank them for that. And yeah, I just hope that they enjoy the work and that they feel like they got value for money. So there's a video of it which I think gives you a bit better sense of what the model looks like on YouTube. So you're absolutely right, Flixter, mate. Like as you would have seen on this stream, I don't do anything that no one else has the ability to do. I use just all of the basic tools, same colours as everyone. Yeah. That's actually sculpted by a friend of mine, 3D sculpted by a friend of mine in Australia. I didn't tell her what I was using it for. Oh shit, I forgot to do another red circle. What a dickhead. Yeah, it's good call out, Sharkwold. I think they're actually just really fun to paint from a non-sexual perspective. They're really fun to paint because they're all, you know, nice volumes and interesting shapes. But there's certainly a preponderance of them. Preponderance of models like that. My girlfriend's commented on that as well. But yeah, I try to mix it up. I try to paint different models. 2 cases in point. Almost completely different dudes. I try to do busts, and I also really like doing strong women, like really models of super strong women. I find them really cool to paint. But yeah, I just like painting a variety of different things. It's good advice from Celery. Oh, I'm going to do one more red circle, I think. One more red circle down here. And then I'm not sure what else I've got to do. green on these things. Yeah, that's one real positive, is that there is a massive variety of models you can paint these days. You can completely avoid the ladies if you're not interested in painting the ladies. But you can also paint yourself quite a few nude men these days. Love a barbarian guy. Love a barbarian. Don't tell Colwell that, mate. Like, that guy, fuck me. Slowest painter on the planet. No, he's actually not. He's actually really quick. He's really quick. He does a lot of painting. Yeah, we could get into like the whole issues with the male power fantasy trope thing, which is still prevalent everywhere, but I think the thing about this hobby is you have plenty of choice. I mean, some people really enjoy that aesthetic, want to paint those aesthetics, so he's great. Alessandro, absolutely bonkers guy. I don't know if you guys can observe the difference, but I feel just so much more confident painting these little lines just from the practice the other week, last week. Which model of Colwell's was it, out of interest? Ah, yeah. Awesome. He's such a nice guy, Dave. Like, he's really super friendly, super humble. Really like that guy. I'm not the biggest fan of stippling, friends. Takes way too long. I actually don't have. I've never really tried it the same way that Dave does it. So I did say to him I wanted him to come and hang out and have a paint with me, and we'd both sit down and try and do each other's techniques, see what we could achieve. Because he's up there with the absolute smoothest painters in the world at the moment. And the dots that he uses, it leaves that really convincing texture. Colwell, mate. See you, Celery. You're a legend. No, Soper's one of the other ones who's just ridiculously smooth. I'd like to have a paint with him too. He seems like a cool guy. G'day, Voodoo. This is what happens when shit painters like John and Scott try to understand the majesty that is Cujo. I love those guys. I sledge them all the time. Where's my fucking green? Where are you at, green? Dark green. What's the time? Oh, 9:30. Geez, tonight's gone by quickly, hasn't it, friends? It's been very enjoyable. There you are. I see you, Green. Yeah. Yeah, and they talked about me in an episode when they were talking about big models. John seems like he's a big fan of my work. Yeah, I've chatted to those guys quite a bit actually. Seem like nice dudes. I've used the wrong brush, that's fine. I've really enjoyed a lot of Scott's videos recently where he's talked about, he did one a little while back where he talked about how he kept entering competitions and kept losing, and it was just like focusing on how he took those sort of situations, and those things drove him to continue to want to be better. I really like his mindset. But it's a challenge for a guy like him who he's got competing priorities. He's got a YouTube. Yeah, exactly. It's all about YouTube. He wants to be a good YouTuber. So he's got to balance the competing priorities of what makes for a good video versus what's actually good for my painting and my progress. Not as much, mate. Emil from whatever fuck his channel's called. He's very good. He's a very good painter. But yeah, they just when you've got a YouTube channel like that, people want to watch you for the painting, but at the same time they stay watching because the content's funny, interesting, and engaging. And it's very hard to be good at both of those elements. I mean, it's possible. Look at Big Deno. What a prime example. My YouTube videos are just top class. They're not really, they're absolutely shit house. That's because I focus on the content. Yeah, exactly. So it may not be it may not be something that they want to paint. Like, I know Scott has been wanting to paint more display stuff, but because of the broad strokes of his audience is people who collect armies and stuff, that's sort of what he sticks to. And again, it's the other reason why I don't. Oh fuck. So I usually record my videos and then I do my commentary like a week later when I get around to it. And fuck, man, like I piss myself off so much when I paint out of the camera. Oh, I give myself a spray for it. Come on, Dino. Come on, mate. I know. Oh, it's fucking so hard, Cujo, hey? When you're not used to painting on camera and you have that freedom of movement where you can just be like, yeah, I just want to, twist the model around and get that perfect angle, to then going to on camera. Fuck, it's hard sometimes. Oh shit, I forgot my yellow circle on that side. Yeah, I think Scott's videos are really inspiring for a lot of reasons. I mean, I'm a unashamed fan of him and his videos. I think I like the sentiment that he talks about a lot. Yeah, I just think it's just hard to balance those priorities between being a YouTuber and being a painter. And inevitably, when you want to be a successful YouTuber, that becomes your priority, which means you lose the thing that got you into it in the first place. Don't fucking give Cujo a fucking rev up here. He doesn't need enough of that, mate. That guy's already a fucking good painter. He doesn't need people telling everyone how good he is. Come on, Cujo, fuck off, man. Yes, Patreon. He's become a successful Patreoner now, Cujo. He's just killing it. Every time I think about doing a Patreon, because I'm sure it would be great to have an additional revenue stream. I just think, man, as soon as it becomes work, I would just lose the joy. I would lose the joy of the thing that makes me want to do it. So what's the point? Do you hate making videos, Cujo? Yeah. Yeah, that'd be tough, man. That'd be pretty tough. And when you're forcing yourself to come up with content, it means you're not doing the painting as much, It's tough. It's tough. One of my very good mates, Gavin, he was on the stream the other night, Dick Jipper. He was a shop owner and a hobby shop, Irresistible Force actually. He sold it, and he was doing commission painting on the side to help his shop be profitable. It's a tough gig running a hobby store, by the way. And he just hates painting now. Like he's always like, yeah, I want to have a paint. I want to come over and hang out and have a paint, but he still has commissions that he's had for years, and he doesn't because they make money. But he just gets so depressed. I say to him, just give that shit up, mate. Come hang out with me. We'll paint like the old days. Just paint for funsies, mate. No. That is actually one one thing I do have my favourite. I don't have kids either, so makes it easier. Doran Phoenix, I was just airbrushing some Inktense yellow. So the reason I'm doing that, twofold. I want to try and tie that red stuff that I just painted in a little bit more with the rest of the fabric, so it looks like one piece. And I've also done these little sort of highlighty things, which is trying to make it look like it's silk, like the things reflecting. But that white colour that I've used just looks a little bit too strong, yellowy colour, white colour. So by glazing the yellow over the top, it tones that down a bit. Yes, that's exactly. G'day, roll 1011. Yeah. But Cujo, your videos are like really good. That's the thing. And Vince and my videos, we just. I reckon Vince would probably write down an idea, and he'll go, "I'm going to make a video about that." And the same way that I go, "I'm going to paint this model, and I'll make a video about that." Cujo probably plans out his scripts and all sorts of shit. Yeah, perfect comment, Voodoo. Agree completely. And that's why this Twitch for me is so far anyway. I'll show you in a second TV Spark. Because I don't feel like I'm doing anything differently. I just feel like I'm just painting and chatting to some friends while I do it, which is cool. Cool feeling. But I'll tell you right now, friends, if it ever feels like I'm doing it as work, my Twitch channel will get shut down forever. Indeed, TV Spark, I am doing some airbrushing right now. Cujo's got that lying around, I heard. Oh yeah, that's a fucking shit model, that one. You're talking about the dude with the wings, the scientist, the lucid mode scientist. What a dickhead, eh? What a joker. Alright, TV Spark, let's have a look at that dragon, mate. Be good to get everyone's perspectives. So we're pretty much getting to the end of this piece now. I'm excited actually. Felt like I was struggling a little bit halfway through, but now we're starting to reach a point where everything is coming together. So I'm enjoying it. Don't think so. Don't think I'm going to put on the dragon today. Because I'll put it on there to have a look how it's looking, but just got a little bit more work I want to do on the face. I want to do these two little dot things on the head, and just make sure that everything else is up to speed. Oh yeah, the other thing I want to do is I want to add some scarlet tones on this leg, and I'll show you why. Boot, 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 boot. Oh, thanks, Katana. So I've tweaked it a little bit, but this leg and this area here feel very, very similar. So by just adding some red-orange tones in here, it'll create a bit more contrast in that leg, but it'll also create more contrast from these two sections, and also just have that same tie-in effect on the of the red on the dragon's nose, the scarlet on the dragon's nose. Excellent, Katana. Make sure you pop on and show us on the stream. Send us some pictures. I like it. I like a lot of elements of it. I reckon I lost a little bit of contrast on the cloak, but I think it still works. You reckon, Cujo? It's tricky. It's a tricky call. I've been struggling with that nose the whole time, man. I haven't liked anything I've done. This is the thing I've liked the most. And I think I like the orange. This is still higher value and really, really eye-catching. So I think it just gives a bit of a focal point for the dragon as well. I'm noticing this section here now though needs to be done. I thought that was underneath him, so. Boot. I trust Cujo's opinion more than I trust mine, mate. Time for some Escalada. See you, Paul. Good on you, mate. Thanks for jumping on, friend. I love using my airbrush. Fuck, it's so much fun. Phoenix, I think people that think airbrushing is easy are people that don't necessarily do a lot of airbrushing. Because I have never once claimed that airbrushing is easy. It is a lot of time and effort and energy that I've invested into becoming good at it. It's not to say that you can't do it. You can. You've got to be willing to put in that time and effort. And I think many people expect it to be the silver bullet. Airbrushing is not something you can use books on really. I took a class with a guy up here, actually my friend Gavin, who I talked about before. He did an airbrush class which I participated in, which I found very helpful. I am a subscriber of Sergio's Patreon, and the rest of it was just trial and error. A lot of trial and error. Exactly, Katana. Exactly. Much like everything in life. Can I just tell you, Kung Fu, I sort of feel the same way. Like when I see something that's been airbrushed for predominantly airbrushing and not much else, I feel like you can tell, unless it's someone who's very, very good with an airbrush. That airbrushed feeling, it just has a very desaturated colours generally. So I sort of feel like you don't see as much technique, which is again not trying to devalue the airbrush, because there's a lot of time and effort that goes into being good at it. But yeah, I like it when that's not your end point of your blending, when you've got some other colours or stronger colours in there. So yeah, that's very true. Sharkwold, a lot of people from the Games Workshop side of the fence don't love that. Probably because Games Workshop doesn't sell Games Workshop airbrushes at $700 a pop. Bet you if they did, people would get on it like crazy. Maybe I should give Ben Johnson a call and give him that piece of advice. BJ, what's going on, mate? Tell you what, great idea. Sell airbrushes. I'll give you a design that I purchased from Iwata. People buy from Iwata for $250. Let's charge $600 through Games Workshop. I'll take $100 off the top, and then you guys make a sweet 50% profit margin. What do you think of that, Ben? I reckon you go for that. Alright friends, we are at the end of tonight's stream, and I'm very thrilled with my performance on stream tonight. wasn't expecting to get as far as I did tonight, but I think I finally found the dragon, the colours for the dragon. So that is probably going to be finished very, very soon. And I may actually finish it off stream because probably the rest of the stuff is just same repetition. So we may start next stream, which will be, tomorrow night actually, Monday night, doing some Blood Bowl models. So yeah, I'll post some painted pictures of this guy, some finished pictures of him on my socials at some point, I reckon. So thank you everyone for being on the stream tonight. You've all been amazing, and I like all of you. Thank you very much. I hope you weren't too bored. This piece did take longer than I was expecting. Got to see who we're going to raid tonight, friends. Thank you all very much. I just looked at a few little things I wanted to do, so I'm quickly doing those, and then I'll get on and have a look at who we're going to raid. Raid! It's probably a Sunday for a lot of people. Oh, g'day Gallo Fire, mate. You've come in at just the right time. I'm going to finish in about 20 seconds, so you don't have to listen to my gibbering anymore. Alright, I'll just quickly show you guys that just joined. Yeah, this is what they look like. This is what the boyos look like. Yeah. Cool. Alright, let's go have a look who we can raid. Raid! Love this shit. It's my favourite thing about Twitch streaming. Miniatures Den's live, but he's got 268 followers. We probably don't need to raid that guy. Any suggestions, Flick? Anyone I should raid? Oh, Styler Rebel was on here before. What's he painting? She painting? Let's go raid Styler Rebel. She popped in before. Let's do it.
Love the pictures, really cool, and it was really nice to hang out with you. Hey, oh my God, look at who is coming in. We got a big Dino. How are you doing? Thanks for. Average Painters finished up the late war British infantry. Nice. Welcoming in Fritz. Oh my God, so many people. Wait. Gallowire, Flitzar, Luke Hole, Just Bial, Book, and Big Dino. Thank you so much. Flitzar, I probably mispronounced a whole bunch of the names. But hey, thank you for following, guys. Hey, Big Dino, welcome in. Wait, Flix, Jeez. Alright, I'll probably say it differently every time, but how did the stream finish? Is it Viking? What does Twitch not like? What happened? Did it do something with your message or something? Oh, thank you for the follow. I just saw that. And Katana Oni and Borjazi. Oh my god, yes. Dora. I have to, because the computer is a little far from me. Around Phoenix and